Hey, yo, back with another one, man. Just a real quick random thoughts as I'm walking. I'm out here getting a little exercise real quick. But as I'm exercising, I'm, just kind of going through my head a little bit about this Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole situation. For those that are unaware, Kendrick Lamar dropped a diss 2 weeks ago, to where J. Cole responded on Friday. And last night at Dreamville, J. Cole essentially backpedaled in his response. Now, I want to approach this from a different angle, though, man. Y'all know I'm a financial guy, so I have to always put some type of financial angle on this. So, bear with me. I'm going to get there. But I kind of want to, walk this down a little bit. So, last night in J. Cole's response, a lot of what he was saying, or the spirit of it, I truly, truly understand, right? The idea of, hey, you technically don't want to see two black men going back and forth in the media. You're all about love. You're all about peace. These are your values. And you just want your spirit to sit well whenever you go to sleep at night. Totally understand. As a man of God, I'm in favor for it. However, whenever we look at the decision-making process as a man, as a leader, as someone who has the weight of the world on their shoulders, like, this is what we call the burden of leadership. And when we look at how decisions are made, we have to not only think once, think twice, but we have to evaluate each and every outcome before we go down huge decisions that can impact everyone following us. And that applies to each and every man financially when we talk about stewardship, right? Because this goes way past just J. Cole and wanting to see a epic rap battle, right? This goes to the idea that whenever we're making decisions, are we making financial decisions out of the spirit of competitorship, or are we making financial decisions out of how they're going to mainly impact our homes? Because it's a lot of that, right? You can be totally perfectly fine with your situation, and then your new friend goes gets a house, and now you feel like you got to go get a house. Or the neighborhood that you're in is perfectly fine, and then your neighbor goes and get a pool, and now you're leveraging your home equity line of credit to go get a pool, and you're doing all these things that in spirit are just not guided from a right place. And what oftentimes happens is, specifically looking at the J. Cole situation, you have to either run back from your original decision, apologize for it, and or you find yourself into something that you're not equipped to handle, and it unsettles your spirit to a place now that you're out of peace. And I think this is a really good learning and teaching opportunity when we talk about not only the spirit of leadership, but gleaning from decision-making processes, because you are where you are because of a series of decisions that you made in life. Typically, there are some unforeseen circumstances that happen that God may put us in to get the most out of us, to groom us through a trial or scenario. But more times than not, the decisions that we make land us to the place that we are. So, Ben, what's your point? At the end of the day, when we're talking about being stewards, we're talking about managing our finances correctly. We're talking about being good husbands, good men, good mentors, whatever. Like, we have to first look inside and speak with God whenever these decisions are being made. We have to make sure that when we have these decisions and make them, that we can stand on them as men, that we don't have to backpedal 20, 30, 40 years from now. Does that mean that everyone's going to be perfect? Absolutely not. Does that mean that every thought or every decision that we make is not going to be the most vetted or the wisest thing? Absolutely not. But with the information that you have at that specific moment, you have to be willing to stand on what you say, what we do, and the actions that we take moving forward. And that's mature. That's being a mature man, being a mature leader. And we have to be willing to suffer the consequences for what comes after. Because I'm going to be honest, with this J. Cole situation, it could be career suicide for bro. Like, K-Dot could come back, drop something incredibly crazy, and it puts a damage on his legacy that he just may not come back from. The fall off could be a ill-profited title for J. Cole's outcome, right? But he didn't have to be here. But again, this is what happens when you make decisions off emotions. Because what he was saying in part of his speech was that, hey, my homeboys was texting me, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Succumbing to that peer pressure, right? All right, my homeboy said I gotta do this. Well, let me make sure I don't look like no punk in front of them. Let me make sure I don't look this way in front of them. And then one ill-advised decision can change the whole course of everything you got going on. Because he was putting together a string of monstrous verses over the past 2 years to elevate him into a conversation that he was not previously. But again, like with our finances, right? You could have been saving the past 2-3 years, could have been investing in the right things the past 2-3 years, and then one decision can set you back 3 or 4 years of all the stuff that you've been doing because you either acted out of emotion, whether it be, you responding to somebody in the club. Now you got jail. You went to jail. Got to pay for lawyer fees. Woo. Like so many things can impact how we steward and how we move, to where we just got to be conscious of making the wisest decision at when possible. Again, that doesn't mean everyone gonna be perfect. Hell, I'm not perfect. But whenever we make these decisions, we gotta have the right intent, and we have to think about the spirit and when we're doing it. And we have to take our time. That's one of the most important things when it comes to big decisions. Take your time. Don't feel rushed. Because when you feel rushed is when you usually fall into those types of traps, man. That's what the enemy wants. But, seek God, get a spirit of peace before you do it. And when you move, stand on the decision that you make. But I don't know, just some random thoughts, man. Again, if you like this type of content, if it sparks the train of thinking that you like, man, like, subscribe, man. Tap into the channel. Me and Stat, we got a live tomorrow on Instagram. We're going to be talking about some of the same things in regards to just stewardship, manhood, our personal financial journeys over the past years and how we became millionaires, and just really tapping in, man, trying to make sure that we continue to spread this message, man. I'm looking at the Black community right now, and there's a total Black wealth renaissance happening. But we got to continue these conversations. We got to keep pushing, because at the end of the day, man, it is something we just can't let fall by the wayside, man. We can't let this be a fad like many other things are sometimes, man. We got to make sure that this is a consistent way of life. Talking about stocks, talking about investments, talking about real estate, to where it's in our natural vernacular, and we can, learn and grasp these concepts each and every day. So, again, y'all know me as being Holmes, the Chief Inspirational Officer, helping those with a CEO mind take authority not only over their life, but their money. So, until the next time, check in, check out. Peace.